Hello, and you're watching Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program with me, Kilyangdan. Our top stories this week. His Holiness the J. Kempo consecrated the sculpture garden of Kese Dinkin Juba in Yung Jumalhaze in Serang. Besides heavy destructions, 4 lives were lost during the recent monsoon disaster as per the initial disaster assessment report. And the Supreme Court acquitted the former Foreign Minister Rinzin of all the charges. His Holiness the J. Kempo consecrated the sculpture of Kese Dinkin Juba in Yung Jumalhaze in Serang on Saturday last week. The unique sculpture garden of Kese Dinkin Juba in Yung Jumalhaze at Melamtha has been constructed as commanded by His Holiness the J. Kempo in 2013 during the 8th Melam Chemo.
Hundreds of people, both young and old, gathered for the much-awaited consecration ceremony of Kese Dinkin Juba and Yung Jumalhazen Sculpture Garden by His Holiness J. Kempo. His Holiness the J. Kempo then introduced Kese Dinkin Juba or Prince Siddhartha as the deity for children and Yung Jumalhazen as the deity for mothers in Serang. The life-size statues of Kese Dinkin Juba and Yung Jumalhazen has been sculpted for the first time in Bhutan. It is narrative sculpture from one of the Buddha's ceremonial performances. The statues have been sculpted for the well-being of the country and the people. It also symbolizes the mother's love and care for her child.
The reason why we have built the statues here is to make people aware of the child and mother's God. Kese Dinkin Juba is the child's god and Yung Jumalhazen, the goddesses of all mothers. So once they understand this and its significance, we have to further promote the love, care and respect among the mother and their children. And there is a plan to sculpt such sculptures in the rest of the Dzongkhaks as well.
So I think it is going to have lots of benefits. We hear lots of social ills ills related to youth, especially the drugs issue, the alcoholic issue. Likewise, we have suicide issues that are very rampant. So likewise, we have other issues related to parents where they get divorced. Ultimately, the problem amounts to children. So this place becomes a center where both parents and youth, children can come here to seek their prayers, where they can meditate, where they can get their blessings.
Pamgi ta kadim chira alulu tishiki dereberu tigi juruatindi alugi te pam lu.
With the change in time, no matter how much parents love and take care of their children, children showing gratitude to their parents is very rare. But we are very fortunate to have His Holiness to remind us of how Buddha respects and cares his mother. The statues are unique from the other statues that are found in dzongs and monasteries. Both modern and traditional methods were used to sculpt the statues from fiberglass. Students performed a sedib composed by His Holiness the J. Khenpo. A group of women representing mothers also expressed their gratitude to His Holiness the J. Khenpo for the initiative. Compiled for Kinchu String in Sirang, Sringdama Galson, BBS News.
For the first time, the Bumdaling Wildlife Sanctuary captures a tiger on camera, demystifying all anecdotal evidence from farmers. The female Bengal tiger was captured on camera in Komagyeok in Hlinse this year. This is in addition to Bhutan's 103 tigers recorded in 2015. Foresters had to wait for 4 long years to get this image. This is one of the pictures from a camera trap on the night of 28th May this year. The tiger was recorded in Komagyeok in Hlinse. The Chief Forestry Officer from the Bumdaling Wildlife Sanctuary in Tashiangsi, Karmatempa said, "This is an incredible achievement. The sighting validates the need for further research to protect the tigers, manage human-wildlife conflict, and strengthen patrolling." Today, the whole world celebrated Global Tiger Day through a digital campaign to raise awareness. The theme, TX2, Thumbs Up for Tigers, links perfectly because each tiger's stripe pattern is unique to them, just like fingerprints are to people. Over the past 100 years, the tiger population declined by 97% globally due to poaching and habitat loss. In 2010, Bhutan and 12 other tiger range countries started conservation efforts to double the tiger population by 2022. This year marks the halfway point of the goal. The quest for this animal continues across the sanctuaries in Bhutan. Kilyangdan for BBS News. Farmers in the east are all smiles this year as their potatoes fetch better price at Samrupjonkar auction yard. Last year, farmers had a disappointing potato season.
Farmers from 6 eastern districts take their potatoes to the Samrupjonkar auction yard at this time of the year. Last year, farmers were disappointed with the potato price.
71, 71.
Red potatoes last year fetched a maximum of 23 newton per kilogram. But this year, red potatoes price has gone up to 28 newton for a kilogram. And white potatoes are being currently sold at 23 newton for a kilogram.
We
feel happy when we get high price. This year it went well. Last year we got a maximum of 1,600 to 1,700 newton for a sack of potatoes. But this year the maximum we got was 2,800 newton for a sack of potato. In the last 2 days the price remained between 2,600 to 2,700 newton.
If we compare it with last year, there is a vast difference in the price. Last year, for a sack of potatoes, we got a maximum of 1,500 to 1,800 newton. This year, we are getting a minimum of 2,500 newton. So this year, I'm happy as my hard work has been paid well.
It is much better this year. Last year the cost was low and it took us over a week to sell our potatoes. But this year the price is good and we are able to auction our potatoes much faster.
The increase in the price is attributed to good potato demand from India.
When it comes to potato price, there is a difference of 8 to 10 rupees in India and Bhutan. So currently there's less production in Bhutan but the demand is high. So that's why potato price has increased.
Potato production this year is not lower, according to officials from Food Corporation of Bhutan in Samrupjonkar. But due to heavy monsoon and roadblocks along the highway, farmers were not able to bring their potatoes. So far, over 300 truckloads of potatoes have been sold at the Samrupjonkar auction yard. For Kilawachu in Samrupjonkar, Pemanamge, BBS News.
Most farmers who came to market cabbage at the auction yard of Food Corporation of Bhutan in Phuntsling earlier this week returned home dissatisfied. The vegetable failed to fetch a good price. A bag of cabbage weighing approximately 25 kilograms fetched as low as 15 nutram. For the best quality cabbage, the highest bid was 450 nutram a bag. Most of the cabbages for auction were brought from Chapcha in Chuka and Jabana in Poro.
Lagi kitura somis bela bora rinda ladi paraja ketana ngachi na sere mena mana sinakatam
lamdi hale pasakali ko gosala teladi ta december bachin gusture gepture lamna te na boda bora rire lutul tukchuda kherebu boda ta gacha mapalero te misesu kairkiyo
ta mr kara jona pa manja tabra mino se no mela ta la ni be deja bachin te la be di kumino mala te bungam serashini lame.
FCB officials said there has been an excess supply of cabbage since yesterday. It could be due to the clearing of roadblocks along the Phuntsling highway recently.
Farmers brought cabbages to the auction yard all at once, and most of it were rotten or spoiled. They might have harvested it quite a long time back, so the price went down yesterday and today it dropped further. The parking was full with vehicles loaded with cabbage yesterday. We had a tough time unloading it. We stayed late into the night working.
The managing director of FCB said the excess supply could also be because of better price a few days ago when a kilogram of cabbage fetched more than 60 nutram. For Kingotashi in Phuntsling, Gilliangden for BBS News. 4 human casualties were reported and 1 is still missing during the recent monsoon floods as per the tentative assessment report. It also caused widespread damages to infrastructures like bridges, roads and crops in most of the districts. This is an overview of the report compiled by the Department of Disaster Management. The disaster management officers in the 20 Dzongkhaks have been assessing the damages caused by the recent monsoon. Majority of the district faced minor damages. The major affected districts are Sarpang, Chuka and Samtsi. Ha and Mongar also lost a major portion of their crops. Gasa lost 5 bridges, the highest number of bridges washed away by the monsoon. 9 out of 20 Dzongkhaks faced major roadblocks. In Sarpang, around 220 people from 63 households were affected when the monsoon flood washed away the town. 21 households were evacuated to temporary shelters. The remaining moved to rented apartments, while some put up with their relatives. 34 acres of wetland and 58 acres of dry land were damaged in the Dzongkhak. Close to 5 acres of orange orchard and 2 acres of paddy field were also destroyed. The flash flood also damaged retaining walls, bridges and water sources. In Chuka, a man was washed away by the swelling Amochu River in Phuntsling. A total of 17 families were affected and 3 houses completely damaged. 2 Bailey bridges also collapsed. Some irrigation channels were also damaged. The monsoon caused huge damages to the crops. Chuka lost 6 acres of paddy field, close to 1 acre of mandarin, 21 acres of cardamom, more than 1 acre of ginger and 196 acres of potatoes. A resident also lost 15 goats and 12 cows. In Samtsi, 3 people, a 4-year-old girl, 11-year-old boy, and a 46-year-old man drowned. A 56-year-old woman went missing from Uginse. A Bailey bridge collapsed at Budini. There were several roadblocks and power supply disruption. The monsoon also left many houses damaged. Although Ha didn't face major infrastructural damage, it lost 12 acres of potatoes and 5 acres of cardamom. 6 farm roads were also damaged. Mongar lost 7 acres of maize and more than 2 acres of paddy field. 10 farm roads were completely damaged as well. According to an official from Department of Hydromet Services, Bhutan received the heaviest rainfall in July 2004. However, as the duration of the rainfall was short, there was no major damage. This time, although the amount wasn't as high as 2004, the incessant rain brought about the damages. The weather in the south regions has now improved. The disaster management team is still in the process of compiling the assessment of the overall damage. After the assessment is complete, government will start the relocation and reconstruction works as required. Kilyangdan for BBS News. Meanwhile, government says Bhutan has so much to learn and improve following the recent incessant rainfall and floods. From improving health facilities to keeping food items in stocks and to building durable bridges, the government will prepare Bhutan to withstand such disasters in the future.
The government is planning to assess the flood-prone areas to set early warning systems and construct embankments. The recent flood has completely destroyed 9 acres of land in Chusegang, besides affecting 30 acres of land.
Now, one is we have to assess which areas are flood prone. So this is why Punasanchu has early warning systems in place. We should develop these systems in all the river basins. We have to make sure that all our lakes are not risky, and this is what has been done over the years. We have to make sure that our tributaries to the rivers are not blocked, and this is what our Dzongkhags are doing. They are monitoring the situation, and where there are big chances of flooding, we have to build embankments.
And to avoid the shortage of oxygen cylinders in the National Referral Hospital, government has asked the hospital to store oxygen cylinders that can last for a week until they set up an oxygen gas plant in the capital. The farm shops in the villages were found helpful in supplying essential food items during the difficult times.
Every district had 3 months lambedidul at the minimum. Ta anale the pewachi dashinga nimtola gizumela the daganaludi food secure be me bala maludi tabmendo the nimtola lumindo bala kasi wachin the anale daganalu zonghanalu headquarter na yubi they the geog level na mindo bala ta ani geog level na lo food secure zoning gi donne tangachi ani dinga chigi the farm shop gi ani nyadab lunga chigi ze khanchab ta ani na lunga chigi rikba sap chi di message shunil.
He added the food corporation outlets in the Dzongkhas have enough food items stored to supply for at least 3 months. Meanwhile, to avoid panic and hoarding in the fuel depots over shortage of fuels, the economic minister said the ministry will increase the government's fuel reserve to 2 million litres or 2,000 kilolitres within this financial year. Currently, the government's fuel reserve is only 1,000 kilolitres or 1 million litres of petrol and diesel. With additional reporting from Sunampam, Sangeet Chazum for BBS News.
After 9 long years, it is likely that Shakespeare will be reintroduced in the English curriculum for secondary schools. If so, it will replace the dramas class 11 and 12 have in the current curriculum from the next academic session.
Shakespeare was discontinued in 2006 with the introduction of new English curriculum. Many felt the Shakespearean language was obsolete among other reasons. However, based on the consultations carried out by the Royal Education Council with English teachers across the country, reintroduction of Shakespeare was deemed important. The director of REC, Kezang Chodindoji, said, "The response from teachers and the Ministry of Education is positive. There is definitely a need to reintroduce Shakespeare. For that, the plan is to start with classes 11 and 12. And to ensure that the English curriculum is not overloaded, we are simply going to replace the current plays in classes 11 and 12. The main challenge would be teacher capacity. We are fortunate that most of the teachers teaching English at that level have studied and taught Shakespeare." Many teachers who welcomed this reintroduction said Shakespearean works have deeper meanings, essence, and philosophy which are not found in the dramas taught in the new curriculum.
As a teacher, I enjoy teaching Shakespeare because there are so many values and things happening in the Shakespeare. And as a student also, I enjoyed studying Shakespeare. The present curriculum is all contemporary short stories and all. 21st century literature is quite easy. It's quite easy, and values and all things like that are very less in this curriculum.
It is applicable, cut across nationality, cut across ages, cut across the professions, and the philosophies that he propounded are so strong and even today, some of the philosophies he propounded has such great utility and profoundness. And I'm absolutely happy that literature is going to be all the more richer.
The Royal Education Council is yet to finalize the Shakespearean plays for classes 11 and 12. The reintroduction is part of the impact assessment of the new English curriculum being carried out by the Council. Sunampem for BBS News.
The Supreme Court acquitted the former Foreign Minister Rinzin Dorji of all the charges related to misuse of pool vehicle. The verdict, which was out Friday last week, said there was no concrete evidence to prove the charges. The former Foreign Minister, who is now serving as a Member of Parliament of Sompankal constituency under Sarbang, was charged with misuse of authority and public property as Daden Ha Zongda. Similarly, the former project manager of Lagang Karpo, Wangchuk Tsering, has also been acquitted of all the charges. He was charged with forgery, embezzlement and bribery. The Office of Attorney General prosecuted the case against the former Foreign Minister and 6 other individuals in February last year. The case came in the limelight after Anti-Corruption Commission completed its 2-year-long investigation and forwarded the case to OAG in August 2014. Meanwhile, the former Foreign Minister Rinzin Dorji says it is nothing of declaring victory but merely believing that justice has been done. The Supreme Court's verdict, which was passed on Friday, pronounced that it did not find any basis to prove the charge of misusing the pool vehicle by the former Foreign Minister.
While sharing his thought on the verdict, the former Foreign Minister was as candid as ever. He attributes politics to be the prime reason for getting involved in the controversy.
The fact that I had to resign to join politics, I think that was the twist in my life, and I think that actually paved a way to my political career, and also the mishap actually which occurred during process law. If I were Zongda, this issue wouldn't have actually arisen at all. Then, as you know, politics is got to do with a lot of dimensions. So I think I was actually a part of it. So to say, I was a victim of politics, actually.
His legal tussle with the Office of the Attorney General began in February 2015 at the Ha District Court. After several months of legal battle, he was acquitted of all the charges. After that, OAG appealed to the High Court, mainly accusing him of misusing government's DCM truck for his personal use, where the High Court convicted him. But the Supreme Court acquitted him. The Supreme Court found out that the former Foreign Minister used the DCM truck in line with the Finance Ministry's circular, which allows civil servants to use pool vehicles under emergency and pressing personal needs.
The misuse of DCM, in my opinion, was very clear actually. I thought this was a non-issue. The non-issue became an issue. Supreme Court, in all fairness to the issue, I thought they did the work very well. I've always believed that the rule of law would always prevail at some point in time. It's not that I was a former Zongda, not that I was a former foreign minister, but I think for any layman with similar nature of cases should actually receive such kind of judgment.
The former Foreign Minister is now serving as the Member of Parliament from Shompanka constituency in Sarpang. Pemal Hardin for BBS News.
The High Court on Thursday this week upheld the District Court's verdict on Gidawom mining case. The verdict says 3 mining companies, Dakchang Stone Quarry, RSA, and Riverview Mining Company has to pay a compensation of 745,000 Nutrum to 8 households of Gidawom. The compensations are for the damages caused by the blast from the mining. The mining companies had appealed to the High Court in April this year after they were not satisfied with the District Court's verdict. Of the 29 households, the Thimphu District Court found only 8 was affected. Jimmy, a 24-year-old entrepreneur, brings to you Salon on Wheels. It is a van with a salon established on the inside. The van is driven around the city, providing door-to-door salon services to customers. It is the first of its kind in the country. Jimmy drives Junka, the Salon on Wheels, to Changanka in Thimphu to meet his first customer. Named after his household in Poro, Junka provides all the services like any other salon.
They come to our place the minute we call them. It saves our time since we don't have to go to town, because going to town means having to wait in traffic, and then there are also problems with parking. So that way, this salon is very convenient for us.
A minimal additional fee is charged to drive to the customer's residential area. However, the charges for the salon services are the same as in the town.
The establishment of this business will not only reduce traffic congestion, but also reduce the fuel consumption of our customers. With this business, I don't have to depend on any jobs. Rather, I'll also be giving job opportunities to individuals who are interested to work with me. With regard to waste management, we have a separate container whereby all the waste will be collected, and this waste actually will be disposed of when we actually get back to our head office.
Jimmy is a graduate from Gedu College of Business Studies. He has taken the initiative to employ himself while providing employment for others as well. He currently has 3 employees. He has plans to take his business to Poro as well. Kilyangdan for BBS News. Well, that is all we have for you this week. Thank you for joining us. This is Kilyangdan saying goodbye.